I'd like to welcome in today's webinar, which is hosted by the CEO Club and the Circular Economy Club of Dubai on a topic, the circular economy, big opportunities and new possibilities. Circular economy is important as circular business models means solutions that are based on circular economy principles, activities like reuse, repair, resell, and refurbish. Circular business models stand for a future where doing business is both economically and environmentally sustainable and more profitable. The CEO Club has been conducting a series of webinars and helping CEOs and business leaders all over the world to overcome challenges, lead efficiencies, and create opportunities during this difficult time. This webinar is part of a CEO Club Circular Economy Initiative, which was launched this year with 4 ambassadors, including the UAE former minister, HPE, and others who are present here. Plus, we are also have created a circular economy committees, and we are looking forward to have the new members to be a part of us. CEO Club Network is a US-based corporate membership-based international business organization with members from various industries and chapters across the globe. We focus on connecting CEOs and senior executives and entrepreneurs to share experiences, explore opportunities, grow business locally and internationally. CEO Club have integrated services to be compatible with both corporate and senior executives with over decades of experience and effective tools to assisting them. We are able to facilitate collaboration, accelerate business deals, and proud of adding value to exclusive business community. CEO Club Network regional headquarters in Dubai, which is under CEO Club Network worldwide for more than 14 years with high-profile members plus 3,000 affiliations in the region. CEO Club Network is under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Juma bin Maktoum Juma Al Maktoum, Dubai Royal family member. Our excellent team creates a diverse events, high-profile figures, multicultural atmosphere, business topics, and strong networking reach for our members here. CEO Club have received one of the top award, the Dubai Quality Award, presented by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Vice President and Prime Minister of United Arab Emirates and ruler of Dubai, which we are very proud of to receiving 2 years ago from His Highness. CEO Club Network is your key to success as we are totally focused on business and business opportunities. In today's circular economy topic, we have panel discussion with 5 experts on circular economy from different parts of the world who will be discuss efforts to reduce waste, optimize the use of resources, are opening up new opportunities and possibilities. We will also discuss growing public awareness of the need, reduce environmental impact, which continue to open new possibilities across value chain based on optimization, the use of resources and reducing waste. By some estimate, the leverage, the circular economy could open market of possibilities of total, they predict that more than $4.5 trillion. So it is a big industry and big way to incorporate in your business. Now let me introduce our today's circular economy session moderator, who will be introducing each panelist to you later on. Let me say a few things about Mr. Syed Zulfiqar Ali. He's a Circular Economy Club Dubai organizer and a CEO Club Circular Economy Ambassador. He is passionate about circular economy and currently working as the Alliance Manager at Hewlett Packard Enterprises in Middle East. CEO Club is very proud of its member organization, HPE, Hewlett Packard Enterprise, who is a global leader in circular economy. In information technology sector by designing and manufacturing IT product based on circular economy principles, and to further support sustainability and circular economy, HPE. HPE is offering its products to customers on pay-as-you-go or everything as a service or consumptions based on models and after use, putting them back into the circle. And I'm very proud to have Mr. Syed as the ambassador and a valuable member CEO Club in the network here with their valuable input. But let me mention at this time, we will have, after the panel discussion, we will have some Q&A session from the participants. So I encourage all the participants to please do ask as many questions you like to the panelists. So please, in your chat box, do write your questions, and then we can answer after the panel discussions. So now I hand over to Mr. Syed Ali for the panel discussion.
Thank you, Dr. Tariq. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Circular Economy webinar. The circular economy, new possibilities and big opportunities. It is an opportunity of $4.5 trillion and one of the top 6 trends of the future, as per the United Nations latest report. My name is Syed Zulfiqar Ali, and I'm the moderator for this webinar, which brought to you by CEO Clubs and the Circular Economy Club, the largest international network of circular economy professionals and organizations, over 110 countries and 260 cities. As a Circular Economy Club Dubai organizer, I would like to thank you, CEO Club Chairman Dr. Tariq Nizami, for his support and collaboration to promote circular economy in Dubai and UAE. I'd like to congratulate to CEO Club for being pioneer in the UAE, for providing a business platform, business networking platform for circular economy. There is a world of opportunity to rethink and redesign the way we produce and consume. For example, e-waste provides an opportunity of circular economy. Only in 2019, $57 billion worth raw material, including gold, copper, and iron, could have been extracted from e-waste. There are so many sectors such as construction, textile, fashion, food and beverage, information technology, and the list go on, where circular economy have big opportunities. Today, we have an amazing panel with us, and we'll be talking about the new possibilities and big opportunities. At this point, I want to introduce and welcome our panel speakers so we can get into our discussion. Our first guest, Mr. Mohammed bin Suleiman. He's a CEO at Moro Hub. Moro Hub is a Dubai-based global, it's a term of local and global digital transformation service provider. It's a subsidiary of Dubai Electricity and Water Authority. Moro CEO, Mr. bin Suleiman, is an EMBA and graduated from His Highness Mohammed bin Rashid Center for the Leadership Development. He is recognized as an inspiring and collaborative leader. He has over 16 years experience in telecom, energy, and digital solution spectrum, and he has led many digital transformation projects. We'll be talking to him, and I'd like to welcome him. Our second speaker, Mr.Serge Conesa, founder and chairman of CEO of Immersion For, a Switzerland-based company, bringing a new interpretation on data center and electronic cooling technologies. He has over 30 years of international experience in technology and businesses. Immersion For DTM technology has been built on 4 pillars: no water consumption, no CO2 emission, no greenhouse gases emission, and ethical. Immersion For is trying to help the world to reduce e-waste, and Immersion For is proud partner of HPE Cloud 28 network. I would like to welcome our third speaker, Mr. Ghassan Farouk Afiouni. He's a renowned research scientist who investigated in many product research and development projects. His past work includes, but not limited to, conductive polymers for multispectral screening material, environmental friendly cooling system, concept car designing, enforced GRP, environmental friendly wood composite panels. Ghassan and Steelwood Industries have set up the industry for a sustainable future for all that will help reduce carbon footprint. The recycled wooden products at steel wood industry help us to reduce a net of over 65,000 metric tons of negative carbon footprints per year. Last but not least, our speaker, Dr. Dimitrios Kokkinos, is a successful visionary and a thought leader on circular economy, highly educated and with very extensive international experience in Europe, Asia, and America. Very senior manager and consultant with over 40 years of experience in management, directorship, chairing board, consulting big companies organization, visiting professor in geopolitics of energy, external consultant to European Commission and to governments on prime ministerial and ministerial level. And he's also a circular economy ambassador at CO Clubs Network. With this, I'd like to welcome all the participants for taking their time and joining us. And I'd like to start asking a first question to all our panelist speakers today. My first questions to all of you is circular economy, big opportunity. How is your organization becoming part of the circular economy? And I will ask my first questions to Mr. Mohammed bin Suleiman, and then I will go to Mr.Serge Conesa for the same question, then Mr. Ghassan Afiouni, and then Dr. Dimitrios. So Mr. Mohammed bin Suleiman, how is your organization becoming part of the circular economy? Please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Good afternoon. First of all, it's an opportunity to present our company, Moro Hub, and share with you what we do and how we are implementing circular economy principles and how we are helping our partners and clients in implementing circular economy principles. Moro Hub is a digital transformation company that is fully owned by Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, DEWA. It's one of Digital DEWA's initiative for Dubai 10X program that was established by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President, Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai, to position Dubai 10 years ahead of other cities in the world. As a service, as a digital transformation service provider, we offer cloud and hosting services, digital product and services, Internet of Things, smart cities solutions, cybersecurity solutions, professional and managed services. The building that we are operating from is a LEED Platinum certified facility. Recycled building materials were used to build Moro Hub facility. Our data center is designed to have efficient utilization of power for cooling for our clients and for our own digital infrastructure. We have partnered with leading technology solution companies in the world who are committed to circular economy principles to jointly serve the market needs. Our cloud services is a classic example of sharing economy where the technology assets are used by a number of clients, of course, with all security elements in place to make the most effective and efficient use of technology infrastructure. We have recently integrated our Smart Cities Command and Control Center, aiming to achieve the strategic objectives of the country, to make it among the smartest and most sustainable countries in the world. We are currently working on launching a new data center, which will be the first green data center in the region, leveraging solar power. Hopefully, inshallah, is going to be ready by January 2021. This is what Moro is doing to be part of circular economy.
Thank you. Excellent. Excellent points. Green data center certainly is a big project. Now, I would like to direct the same question, circular economy, big opportunities, and how's your organization becoming part of the circular economy? I'd like to direct this question to our speaker, Mr.Serge Conesa of Immersion For.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you, gentlemen. Very welcome to be part of you. So what the Immersion For is about, I said, in circular economy, when I have created Immersion For, basically the concern was to say, we need to solve the problem of air cooling data centers, doing and trying to replace air and water by any means, okay, in contact with electronics. And in the same time, that was also the paradigm of saying there is a dollar value for the product, but one day it will be also a carbon value, because everything is carbon-based, especially pollution-related. So from the beginning, when we have designed the first product on Immersion For, we have designed a product where we had taking into consideration the fact to be no greenhouse, okay, no CO2, no water consumption, as you mentioned, as well as ethics. But ethics was meaning eco-conservation, using the right energy for what matter, which in the data center or in electronic meanings, powering the electronics, not powering the cooling. Environmental conservation, because obviously everything we do has an impact. Ecology, because we are talking about multiple ecosystem, and unfortunately the human as we are is jeopardizing many ecosystems. And the second thing is economics, because it was very important to take into consideration a true business model where ROI and TCO can be, I would say, be completely beneficial, okay, by any means. Now, circular economy, it's a key piece on Immersion For design from its inception, based on the fact that we do not believe that we can produce our system through giga manufacturing and ship all around the world. We saw, sadly, I would say, what is the impact on the economy those days. But we do believe that the research have to be distributed as well as the production. So we have designed our entire technology in order to be able not only to be a business model where we are selling product, but also a business model where we can produce locally with the leitmotif, which is sharing the value chain, involving local communities, as well as in the same time sourcing everything locally to reduce the carbon footprint as it minimum. And what we have discovered with the Immersion For technology is the fact that we have also a great impact, as you mentioned, Ali, talking about e-waste, because well, we look at really what is, I would say, all the chemical layers and the way everything has been done on electronics, talking about brominated, talking about conventional coating, those are all chemicals which are unfortunately burned as soon as we want to recycle the electronics. And with the Immersion For technology, due to the nature of our liquid and to the way we use it to cool off electronics, this is not needed anymore. So what matters in one sentence is we provided as Immersion For the fact that let's keep the air underwater to the biodiversity and the ecosystem, and we are one of them, and give our liquid ice coolant to the electronics, and everything will be fine.
Thank you, Mr. Serge Conesa. It's amazing you have given back to the community included in your mission. I will direct my question to our fourth panel speaker, Dr. Dimitri. Dr. Dimitri.
Yeah. First of all, I have to recognize the contribution of the CEO Club to the issue, and I have to congratulate you, Syed, and your organization for leading in international IT technology circular economy, is advising, helping, and training companies for circular economy. And it's very good to remind you that we have two types of economies. The linear economy, where we extract raw material and we make products and sell them. And then the circular economy, which we recover, repair, and reuse a significant part of components of a product. The important thing is that you can see we have a circle of extracting, designing, producing, purchasing, and sales, and then waste. Now, if we go to sustainable consumption, on the consumption side, we can reuse. So that returns on itself. If then we can go to collection, then from this, we can go back to sales and reintroduce the product. And the last one, if we go to waste management, we can recover energy from waste, and we can make sure that a lot of components of the project go back into the economy. Now, the thing that I want to underline for you is that there's money hidden in every company if you adopt circular economy. You have money inside your company, you don't know where it is unless you look into it from the circular economy view, and you'll find out how many economies you can do by applying the principles of circular economy. And I would like to finish by saying that the biggest event in a circular economy is the energy revolution, because energy is there for all of us. And we have a new era of energy, which is based on renewables, mainly solar and wind. And those are excellent sources of energy that have a lot of benefits. This is the future of energy in every aspect of business. And we, as the CEO Club and as Circular Ambassadors, are here to support you. And if you wish to organize a circular economy event and advise you how best you can apply circular economy benefits for your business. So look again into your business. There is hidden money there. Try and find it through circular economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dimitri. Yes, this is true. Circular economy is not a theory, it's a reality. And there is a money in it for every business. All you need to do, just explore it. With this, I would like to move to my second question to all panelists. Circular economy, new possibilities. How you and your organization can help to create new possibilities and convert them into reality. I will ask Mr. Mohammed bin Suleiman to start with this question.
Yeah, so we at Moro can help organization make it happen in discussion for a number of years, but still there is a big scope in the UAE, as an example, for many clients who are currently on on-premises setup to move towards the cloud. So what we are doing here is moving them to our cloud or to our partners' cloud. Just to give you a small example, in the last few months, we have successfully migrated number of private and government entities from on-premise setup to our cloud and also to our partners' cloud, hyperscaler clouds, which, as you know, it will reduce a lot of wastage of resources of IT infrastructure that are not used in the whole day or during the whole day, 24 hours or during the year. So this is a small example of how we are helping our clients to adopt circular economy principles. Another example is our IoT and Smart Cities Command Control Center. By leveraging our IoT platforms, our clients can monitor the performance of their assets. And by using the big data analytics and AI services solutions that we offer, our clients can predict the maintenance requirements for their assets, which possibly can extend the life of their critical assets. I would like to share with you a story here. Currently, or in fact, about a month back, we started engaging with 2 government entities in Dubai who wanted to create a regulation to deploy some IoT gadgets or devices. So what we have done here, we have jointly worked with the 2 entities, and we managed to reduce or to have it or to make it a one single project with less number of IoTs to serve the regulation that they want to deploy. You can imagine the consumption of electricity, the consumption of IoT gadgets that we have saved, in fact. And this is basically how we are helping our clients in adopting circular ecosystems and solutions.
Thank you, Mr. bin Suleiman. It is excellent. Your organization is offering a sharing economy concept and your digital transformation services to promote circular economy. I would like to ask my second panelist, Mr. Conesa, the same question. How you and your organization can help to create new possibilities and convert them into reality. Mr. Serge Conesa of Immersion For.
Thank you, Ali, for the question. Well, our entire organization is based on sharing the value chain. And when I'm saying sharing the value chain, that means that the production, okay, will be distributed. For example, right now we are building the first production center in France, and we have also our first lab built in France, even if we are a Swiss-based company. But we are right now talking to different countries and sovereign funds in order to create all the manufacturing plant as well as all the labs. Because the challenge that we have ahead of us, it's an enormous challenge. Cooling of electronics has been done since the beginning of time through air cooling. And we all know that there is not enough energy, and the demographics and the demand on data are absolutely growing exponentially at the speed that we cannot continue that fast. So we need to understand, and goes back to not only energy conservation, because data is energy, but we need also to distribute the model, because there is smart people all around the world. There is capacity of building, I would say, our system all around the world as well. And if we do that, that will involve not only local community, but also that will allow us to be more closer from the customer, okay, to also grow the IP of Immersion For around, I would say, electronic cooling. And that will also allow to have, I would say, system fitting exactly the demand of the local market. And in the same time, we are feeding the model of employment, feeding the model of the SDG, which is also, as you know, very important, as we are feeding the 17 goals of it. And we have structured the entire offer based on that demand for any kind of product that we have done. So as Immersion For, we have created a replicable industrial model as well as business model. We can be replicated anywhere, doesn't matter what kind of, I would say, environment where we are, with, in addition to that, the capacity to source locally the product, okay, needed for our system. And of course, everything's to being, I would say, completely uniform and standard, okay, fitting, I would say, the highest level of quality. Doesn't matter where the product is going to be built. That is the very ambitious, I would say, the bet that Immersion For has made. And when I was doing 10 years ago, thinking about carbon footprint and carbon cost for product, I knew that this will come one day. Right now, it is coming extremely fast. Another thing also which is important is the microparticle part of it. Okay, we are all now impacted by the COVID-19, and we wrote as Immersion For that the COVID-19 will be used in microparticle pollution in order to, I would say, to spread. And unfortunately, we were right. So another thing where we have been extremely lucky, let's be very humble, is our technology doesn't emit any pollution, any microparticles. So we are not a carrier or we are not a helper for such a viruses. So that's the way we do believe we need to contribute. In the same time, giving local jobs, involving ourselves in local communities, answering the nation's sovereignties and data integrity for every nation's dealing with any market, which are either commercial or governmental.
Thank you, Mr. Serge Conesa. Amazing concept, cooling the electronics by liquid and supporting the local community where you're doing the business. Excellent. I'd like to ask Mr. Ghassan Afiouni how you and your organization can help to create new possibilities and convert them into reality.
Okay. After we commissioned the line, we introduced a new wood type, which is having high mechanical properties, extreme mechanical properties, and we achieved over 65 international certificates, which opened the door to introduce another commodity, which is the carbon. The carbon took us, and we went in a very long trip into the carbon, which hopefully will input an emission trading system into the MENA region and carbon banking as well to promote SDGs. So today's Steelwood is officially a UNFCCC, is listed on about 6 to 7 platforms on the UNFCCC. When we applied there was no CDM for post-consumer 100% random mix, which is what we do. It's a bit technical. So we had to introduce a methodology to the United Nations that wood is recycled. There was for electronics and there was for metal. for glass, but there was nothing for wood as post-consumer random mix. So we had to work with the United Nations. We worked with the US EPA and with our CME in the United States to introduce a new CDM methodology. From there, we are today on climate neutral now. We are proudly the only company in an unprecedented fashion neutral without offsetting. We are 1 million negative in our operations. We are 13,000 positive. We introduced a new response measure to the United Nations UNFCCC as an economical, scalable, natural, direct carbon capture system. Today, we are also on the REDD, which is reducing emission from deforestation and forest degradation in developing countries. We are also on NASCA, which opens steelwood going into green funds, grants for developed countries and to save forests. If we don't use our system, we are losing, with the pace of deforestation, we are losing the size of Belgium every year. So in the next 30 years, we will have no forests. The abundance of raw material with our technology opened the door to use raw material. Now our system is, we are on carbon trade exchanges. We have the Vera, we are gold standard in carbon, which qualifies our carbon credit to be $75 per ton versus a CER. It's depending, it's a bit technical in the carbon session. We are also in Corsia for airline industry, where we can sell them carbon, we can sell ACE. Today, Steelwood is officially working on introducing a carbon bank to the MENA region with the United Nations. We are officially under Paris Agreement, and we are officially under Kyoto from a non-Annex 1 country.
Thank you, Mr. Ghassan. Excellent contribution toward decarbonizing the economy. And I will request the audience, they can put their questions in the chat box, and soon we will be picking up the questions from there, and our panel speakers will be answering them. I'll go to my third question, and I'll start with Mr. Mohammed bin Suleiman. Do you believe disruption is spreading from the circular economy is a threat or an opportunity for your industry?
Yeah, so for us as Moro Hub and also for the industry, moving from take, make, dispose business model to service subscription-based model will definitely create more opportunities for Moro Hub. And we are ready to capture those opportunities and serve our clients' needs.
Excellent. Excellent. It's a good reflection of circular economy concept. I will direct my same question to Mr. Serge Conesa. Do you believe this disruption of the circular economy is a threat or an opportunity for your industry?
Well, I don't think it is an option for any industry. I think we just need to take, I would say, some few numbers, which are generally speaking, but I think they speak volume. We are right now almost 8 billion people in this planet. We are growing the planet at the speed of 1 billion every 13.7 years. We have been for the past 800,000 years below 250 ppm. We are now in 60 years above 400 ppm, which is above any kind of critical level of pollution on microparticles, as we know. Circular economy represents 10% of the world economy. This is not enough. We saw that how I would say the little 130 nano virus can put down everything we ever built as human, knowing that we went from 300 years ago, 2 billion to now 8 billion people. We did tremendous in terms of economy, in terms of change, in order to I would say, to have this planet to be able to sustain, I would say, our way of living. And clearly, we all, most of all, have said have a pretty good life, okay, in terms of disease, in terms of longevity, in terms of everything. But now this is the first time that we're getting, and we are seeing, I would say, a turn on in terms of life expectancy and those kind of things. So the resources which were more than abundant at 2 billion people because the planet was buffering. At 8 billion people, the planet doesn't buffer anymore. So it is very important right now to reconsider the way we live globally, the way we understand technology, because technology alone is not going to be an answer. But we need to focus on what matters. And eco-conservation, circular economy based is the only way to go, because at the speed we are growing, if we continue the way the society has been built, I don't see a bright future ahead of us. So for me, there is no other way.
Agree with this. It's a mindset change. It's the way we are consuming the resources of this earth. We cannot continue this way. I would like to direct the same question to our speaker, Mr. Ghassan Afiouni.
Yes.
Do you think? Yeah, please go ahead.
Actually, I don't think it is disruptive, especially when the environment is of concern. I don't like the word disruptive. I like the word constructive. It might do some disturbance. It might disturb, like loud music. It's like a bit exciting to people. They will be disturbed from it. But our technology can be scaled and can be adapted and can be tweaked into the existing lines. What is disruptive to the current mills around the world are the legislations that are being put in place to stop deforestation. So that with time, and by the minute, as we approach 2030 and 2050, they are doing a lot of restrictions on you cannot cut trees. So we have to divert. We are a solution for mills to look for other resources without depleting our lung, the tree. The tree does two things, and our system does two things when we compare it to the other direct carbon capture systems. All carbon capture systems only capture carbon. Our system also makes oxygen. Okay, so it's an essence of life, because the tree we save, or the 6-to-1 ratio we talked about earlier, is very essential. So what our line can do really, and if you can scale it into other countries, up to 2050, we, as Steelwood Industries Dubai, we save about 40 times the size of Dubai virtual forests worldwide from this site only. So you can imagine the return to the future for other businesses as well, for them not to go stranded. Assets.
I see. Excellent. Thank you. All right. There is a question from Mr. Carl Bridge to all our panelists. I'm going to read it loud for you guys. As investors and supporters of health and social care professionals, entrepreneurs, startups, SMEs, and innovators, do you feel healthcare can take on board a circular economy? Be kind, be safe, warm regards, Carl from UK. So I'll repeat the question quickly. As investors and supporters of health and social care professionals, entrepreneurs, startups, SMEs, and innovators, do you feel healthcare can take on board a circular economy? This question to all panel speakers, whoever would like to respond to it. Okay.
I may answer this question. I think, yes, but in an indirect fashion. Okay, when with a cleaner environment, the problem today when we talk about COVID, it's really the second layer of their circular economy, supporting green buildings, green hospitals, engaging into the SDGs from their industry, and promoting and emphasizing the green building material for the hospitals and for the healthcare system around the world. I think they will help provide cleaner environment, which reflects directly and proportionally to the health itself, from oxygen in the environment to water to to better agriculture, whatnot. So it's really a second layer interference into a circular economy. It's not a direct first layer. And you create a healthy environment for the people not to get sick, if you want to think about it this way.
Excellent. Thank you, Serge and Mr.
Yep. So, well, like it was clearly pointed out, the main things first is to change the environment where we are in order to keep ourselves healthy people. If we look at really the healthcare today, the way it is done, it is based on circular economy. We all have hospital nearby, we have doctor nearby, professional of health. So it is, I would say, a proximity economy, so to speak. So that is, in this regard, I would say, some things that, okay, we have it locally. We don't need to drive hours. We don't need to take an airplane in order to see a doctor. We have it all nearby. So that is one thing. Now, I would say, is the infrastructure for the healthcare need to be reviewed in order to be more, I would say, sustainable, like it is for almost every single building? Absolutely. Because as much as I would say we have building, we have an entire infrastructures, we can not only source locally, but is also designed to preserve what is the most costly things right now to produce, which is the energy. Well, the best energy we save is the one we don't use. It's like, I would say, the best patient is the one we don't see because he's healthy. So we need to apply that kind of principle, that kind of conservation, because in fact, everything is based on conservation. Is now hospital and circular economy. We need to keep the proximity. Proximity is very important, but we need also to keep the competency, I would say, close by to the patient, and patient meanings on an hospital standpoint, customer.
Thank you, Mr. Serge Conesa. I'll move to this next question from Selena Ferguson. The question is, what advice would you give to young professionals starting their career facilitating a circular economy?
Okay, I'm going to take this one if you want.
Sure, go ahead.
So I think I like the term young, because on this term, for me, there is a big resonance behind. I see Greta, I see all the kids. I see the kids that we have on the street right now and say, well, guys, we need to do some things. And we need to do some things. They are basically more adult than we are adult. They are on the streets saying, well, could you do some things for me? And this is our parenthood, not even social responsibility, but parenthood to do some things, as we are all guys, okay, for the future generation. And this is not about the way we're going to be remembered. It's the way the legacy we're going to be leaving behind. By this being said, the future generation is very well aware about what we are seeing and the world we are living right now. But they need to understand how to do that. So my advice to them will be, look at the company who are truly committed, not only on the green message, but really on the way to proceed, on the way to act, on the way the products are designed, to be able to work with those industry, which means some things to you, okay? Doesn't matter the domain we're talking about, okay? My domain is electronics and data center. But food industry is important. In fact, every single industry and market segment is important. And how can we reduce the carbon footprint? How can we reduce the microparticle pollution for the benefit of all of us? I'm going to take a very basic example, nothing to do with data centers. I'm going to take a tomato. Well, when you produce a tomato, 50% of the tomato before arriving at the supermarket is trash. 20% is going to be eaten. 30% is going to be trash again. But the effort of creating out of a seed a tomato is the same, no matter if it is consumed or not consumed. And that is what the problem is. We can make tremendous savings, and eco-conservation start at this point. So as the young generation, go to any industry you like, do some things that you love, do something which means some things to you, and keep in mind eco-conservation and environmental conservation, because obviously you know that better than we know as adults.
Thank you, Mr. Serge Conesa. Yes, Mr. Ghassan?
I would like to advise the young generation, passion to R&D. I would like to tell them target a problem they don't like and how they want it to be changed, engage in experiments, generate data, believe in yourself, and design a solution. And trust me, it's I'm a model that worked. I've become an MPI from my experiments and my R&D. And today we're talking about United Nations level with carbon exchanges. And it's something that when you believe in something, I'm sure they can do it, but they have, I want one last advice. If one experiment fails, that doesn't mean you failed. That means you passed, know why it failed, and redo again, and continue, and learn from the failure, because it's data for you to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Ghassan. Dr. Dimitri, I'm going to pick up a question from the audience, and I'll start with you if you can respond to this question.
Yeah.
Okay, the question is from Mr. Shivam Rai. According to various surveys, almost 2/3 of the entire population in the world will be living in urban areas by 2050. How do you plan to cater to this exponential increase in demand via circular economy approach?
Very good point. And this allows me to bring the case in our Dubai. Now, Dubai is a man-made city. The vision of the leadership, its leadership, and the human ingenuity, the environment does not support it. So unless we impose circular economy in energy, in materials, in everything, and definitely a higher form of waste management, Dubai cannot go on a linear economy basis. So we need, first of all, to go more in renewable energy, because energy is the source of energy. Everything is energy. The second thing is that we have to design, as Hewlett-Packard does, for everything for circular economy. That is, most components to be used and minimum of raw materials to be used. That goes for water recovery, that goes for sewage recovery, that goes for everything. So to survive in a mega city, you definitely need circular economy and smart city technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dimitri.
If I can answer this question, Syed, I think the answer is shared economy can share the resources in order to cater the requirement of the increasing population. I think this is going to be my answer for the question that you just asked.
Excellent. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Serge.
Well, thank you. I like the question, because basically the survey that is mentioned here by 2050, this is the McKinsey report, which is basically showing that today there is 50% of the population living in an urban area, and in 2050 it will be 75% of the world population living in those areas. That means that in 30 years we're going to have a tremendous pressure on the grids, water, electricity, gas, by any means. And if we really look at the way it is done, 90% of the world population is living near the coast. What that means? That means that we're going to have tremendous issue in terms of carbon footprint, as well as sustainability within cities, due to the energy consumption. And the other point will be to the relocations of potential of those people due to, sadly, some things that we call climate change. And we need to rethink the city, and for smart city must be smart energy. And related to the people, we're not talking about the people with smart meaning centralized, but we need to see multipolar city at the opposite of distributed city. Distributed city means there is a place to live, there is a place to go shopping, there is a place to go industrial, there's a place to do business, there's a place to work. But multipolar city is a mix of all of that, where basically people can find themselves through communities in order to do that. In that regard, we have, as the for the electronic market, for data centers, we have a huge responsibility to that, because we need, as we all know, to collect data, where the data are produced, and to process them, as well as telecommunication. So the telecom and the infrastructures have to be also distributed in a way to be less heavy on the grid, on the energy infrastructures. If we look at all of that, it is very important according to the demographics, because the people and the population are moving where there is jobs, and there is jobs in the city. So we need to rethink that and to create jobs. And this is why circular economy is definitely the way to go, definitely the way to distribute the job. And we need to make, I would say, an infrastructure, so to speak, as a service, in order to be able to allow everyone to reduce their move, to be able to have a better quality of life where they are living, and still being able to raise their family. Because at the end, no one wants to move from where is he living. We are, I would say, by nature, French or whoever.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Serge Conesa, for answering these questions. Since we are almost out of the time, in 30 seconds, what is the main message that you would like the audience to take away? I would start with Mr. Mohammed bin Suleiman.
I think the main message that I want to pass to the audience here is that circular economy is very much important to ensure the life, health, and safety for all the human beings in the planet. It's very much important to watch the resources that we are consuming, and it's basically responsibility of every single individual in this planet.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed bin Suleiman. Mr. Ghassan.
Yes, I think the message that I want to send home today is circular economy. If it was at the core maybe 20 years ago, today, post-COVID, it's a must. We have to rethink the economy, all the economy. Post-COVID has introduced a lot of, it's really an earth warning of how much we are polluting where we live, our bigger home. It proved that it is cross-sector, cross-religion, cross-color, cross-countries, cross-enemies. So now the circular economy is a must. We have a lot. As we approach 2050, we'll have more waste. We will have more products that we invent, so they will generate more waste. So we look in these landfills and try to take these as our raw material, not to deplete our natural resources.
Thank you, Mr. Ghassan. Mr. Serge Conesa, in 30 seconds, what is the main takeaway message you would like to give?
Well, there is a word in Zulu called Shlanganani. And I know some of you hear me, I was saying that, meaning coming together. We all need to come together. We all need to follow what the kids are doing on the street, because they are right. We are wrong. So it is time to share. It is time to build communities, and it is time for all of us, no matter who we are, where we are, to work together. And we need to come together in order to make it happen. And the last things that I would like to say, we have a playground here, the Earth. It is 500 million square kilometers to play. Are we going to trade this to live on the space in a studio just to look at the planet the way it is done? Come on, we are better than that. So that's my final word on that.
Thank you, Mr. Serge Conesa. Dr. Dimitri, could you?
Yeah, there are 3 points that we must have to. First, we need energy from renewable sources. The second is that we need water and sewage management. And the third is that we need absolutely smart waste management. So those are the 3 priorities. There are very many other issues, but the 3 principal priorities for our life to be sustainable are those 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dimitri. It was excellent conversation with all these expert panels speakers. Before I pass it and hand over to Dr. Tariq Nizami, Chairman of CEO Club, I would like to add my comments. I would like to thank you all participants. And I would like to say, yes, by 2030, we are expecting this world to be 9 billion people. So we must think design for the future, incorporate digital technology, preserve, extend what's already made, prioritize regenerative resources, use waste as a resource, rethink the business model. Now I would like to hand over to Chairman, CEO Club, Dr. Tariq Nizami, for officially closing today's session.
Thank you very much, Mr. Syed. Before I make my closing remarks, I'd like to have a little quick poll with the participants. And if I can request all the participants, it's very yes and no question. If you can, they can vote. The question is that, do you like to be a part of a circular economy initiative? If let's say CEO Club. So if I can ask participants to answer their questions within 5 seconds, so this way we can share the result. And interestingly, I think there is no surprise. 100% people say definitely they want to be a part of the circular economy initiative. So that shows that exactly today's webinar is already a success, and I think everybody like to contribute their share into the circular economy, and I think that's where the environment and everything goes back. And I think as a closing thing, that I would say the CEO Club will be doing its share for connecting members to sustain business and be ready for the new way of business environment after all this thing, which is the current situation that we are going through. And I think the circular economy initiative, that I'm very thankful that we have a very strong ambassadors, and I think we will do our share on circular economy, and from CEO Club to see what we can contribute in that. I'd like to thank all the panelists, Dr. Dimitrios, Mr. Ghassan, Mr. Serge, Mr. Mohammed, and also definitely our moderator, Mr. Syed Ali, that who did a great job. And most of all, I like to thank all the participants for today's webinar, for listening all the experts on circular economy. As you know, this is a very big subject and very interesting subject. But I think in limited time, that's what we can share the thoughts between all of us. And I think we always value CEO Club, the contribution and valuable input from all of them. So I like to say that just to be safe wherever you are, and I hope the world will come much bigger and stronger and more peaceful place to live after all this current situation is over. Thank you again for being part of a CEO Club and Circular Economy Club today webinar for today, and always be healthy and happy. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.